Hello guys, welcome to Ramta Solutions and welcome to your very first lesson on statistics. We are looking at types of data and this is our first lesson. Our first lesson is looking at types of data. So welcome guys. Now, in statistics, you're going to see that there is quantitative data and qualitative data. Now, I want you to, whenever you see words in your subjects, sometimes try to think of it in this way. Try to think of where the words would be coming from. For example, quantitative, you must be thinking quantity. Qualitative, I know it's tempting to say quality, but that's another word that, we're going to look at. But the one that's easier to work with is quantitative. Obviously refers to quantity. Now, qualitative, it is saying that, okay, here you are not necessarily using numbers, you are using categories, or if not categories, you are basically using words. Okay, you are basically using words. That's where you will be coming with qualitative data. Now, without any waste of time, quantitative data, we also call it numerical data, whereas qualitative data, we also call it categorical data. Okay? Now, quantitative can be counted or measured. In other words, it is numerical, right? In other words, it is numerical, whereas qualitative data is not numerical. Okay? Now, further, under quantitative data, it can be classified as discrete or continuous. Okay, so discrete data, this one, it's obtained by counting. So when you have quantitative data and you find things that you count, you must know that it's discrete, because we said discrete data is obtained by counting. Now, this one that's obtained by counting, you can basically find mean, median, and mode. Okay? You can basically find mean, median, and mode. These things you will learn about in the next video. Okay? These three things you will learn about in the next video, which is a video on measures of central tendency. Lastly, continuous data. Now, when we talk of continuous data, this is data that we obtain by measuring. Now, underline here, discrete is by counting, whereas continuous is by measuring. Okay, so when you are asked what kind of data is this, and if quantitative, is it discrete or continuous, you must underline this. With discrete, you count. With continuous, you measure. Okay, now, examples of your qualitative data. Remember, we said it is also called categorical data. People's names, gender, eye colors, responses to questionnaires, everything that you can categorize, your music genre, movie genre, and stuff like that. Okay? As long as you are not measuring it, or as long as you are not counting it, it is qualitative data. Okay? So these are the two types of data that you will come across in your grade 10 to 12 statistics. And this is applicable for both mathematics and mathematical literacy. All right, perfect. Now, let's look at examples. They say, state whether the following is qualitative or quantitative. If quantitative, state whether it's discrete or continuous. Now, let's see. We have people's favorite types of chips. People's favorite types of chips. Can you really count it? No, you cannot. Can you measure it? No, you cannot. So what kind of data is this? It is qualitative, right? It is qualitative. Now, the next one, various people's moods. Can you really count people's moods? No, you cannot. Can you measure it? No, you cannot. So it is also qualitative. All right? It is also qualitative. All right? It is also qualitative. Now, let's see. The length of the right feet of the grade 8 learners. The length, we know that length, you count, you measure it. You don't count, you measure it. All right? So, since this is something that you measure, and if you want to know the length, it means you put a number to it. So, it'll be quantitative. All right? It'll be quantitative and discrete. Right? Oh, sorry. Quantitative and continuous, because we measure it. Quantitative and continuous. All right? Quantitative and continuous. Right? Perfect. Remember, continuous data is the one that we measure. All right. Perfect. Now, the number of people in a car. Of course, there's one, there's two people. We're putting a number to it. So this means this data is quantitative. All right? This means this data is quantitative. But we are counting. So since we are counting, we will say it is discrete. All right? Perfect. Now, students preferred soft drink. Some love Iron Brew, some love Coca-Cola, some love Pepsi, whatever. Some love Miranda, some love Tweezer, Apple, some love, there's Kingsley, some love Kingsley, Don. Right? You cannot, or rather, this question does not need you to count. It only wants to know what people prefer. Is it measured? No. It is not measured. So it is qualitative. Remember, it is not counting and it is also not measuring. So it is qualitative data. Students' preferred soft drink is a qualitative data. The time it takes for a car battery to die. The time it takes. Do you count the time it takes? You measure it. Now, since you measure it, that means it must be quantitative, right? It must be quantitative and continuous because you measure it. All right? And continuous because you measure it. Now, this one is tricky. The ages of learners in grade 9 class. Right? The ages of learners in grade 9 class. Here is a question. Is this a category? The ages of learners in a class? It is not a category. So, it is quantitative. But please hold. It is quantitative. Now, check what the question is asking you. It's asking you the ages of learners in grade 9 class. Of course, when you talk of someone's age, do you measure it or do you count it? You measure it, right? Because if today is 2023 and you are in grade 9, we must subtract about 9 years and say, so you must be, let's see, 2023. So basically you are born in, you were born, those that are doing grade 9 today, they are 15 years old. And if they are 15 years old, they were born in 2007. So you see, we are measuring, right? 2007, am I telling the truth? No, 15. Can it be 15? Today is 2023. Oh yes, no, 2008. They were born in 2008, right? They were born in 2008. 15-year-olds here, they were born in 2008. So we are measuring age. Age, we measure it. We don't count it. We measure it. So it is quantitative but continuous. Right? Quantitative and continuous. Now, number of children in a family. Ask yourself, this cannot be a category. Of course, it's tempting to say, by saying in a family we have parents, we have uncles, aunts and stuff, we have children and stuff. Those are categories. But the question is not really asking for that. The question is specific. It says a number. So since it says a number, you will say it must be quantitative data. Okay? It must be quantitative data. However, what kind of quantitative data are we looking at? Number of children in a family. Do we count it or we measure it? We count, right? So we'll count it. So this is discrete data, right? This is discrete data. Okay, perfect. Now the type of music played. Obviously, we have kwaito, Afropop, we have hip hop, we have R&B, we have Minowa Setswana, we have Mbaqanga, we have all this kind of music, right? Gospel, we have so many kinds of music. But we are saying, what is the type of music? When somebody asks you of a type of music played, you are not counting genres, right? You will specifically be looking at a category. And since you say a category, this means type of music is quantitative data. Okay? Type of music is quantitative data. So this, guys, is your types of data that you're going to come across in your grade 10 to 12 statistics. Okay? This is the type of data that you these are the types of data that you're going to come across in your grade 10 to 12 statistics. Okay, so this is it, and I hope to see you in the next video where we are talking measures of central tendency. This is where we will be defining the mean, the median, and the mode. So with that being said, it's a wrap, and see you next time. Bye bye.